So, welcome back to another episode, and I wanted to use today's episode to catch up on some video game news that I really wanted to talk about because I was away for a little bit and I was reading about all these headlines, all these things going down, and I was like, oh my god, I want to talk about it. I want to talk about, Kojima leaving Konami. I want to talk about the Zelda Wii U delay, Ready Player One being made into a movie, and also offshoot the Robotech movie. I want to talk about that, being acquired by Sony. So let's start off with Kojima leaving Konami. I was away and I was like, this isn't April Fool's. What the hell's going on? And I was reading about, this happening, and it was a bit of a shock, but it was really funny. It took me about 2 minutes to come up with what I really thought about it. I just sat there and was like, you know what? I thought, Kojima has been with Konami for 30 plus years, okay? And he's delivered so much incredible, I'll actually say, works of art for the world. I just, so many moments, so many, great cinematics in video games, so many incredible gameplay moments. I mean, the Metal Gear series is just unbelievable. So, what was my reaction was this. He's given so much of his life, so much of his time to everybody through Konami. He's given so much that, my God, let the guy go do what he wants to do. Let him go do whatever he wants to do. And I don't know what he wants to do, just anybody. Let him go and leave Konami. Let him go, move on to his next thing. It's like me saying, hey, I've been working a job for 20 years and I want to leave. And everybody going, no, you can't leave. It's like, well, that's not your decision. I want to leave. I have reasons for it. And I know the guy's got some great reasoning for it. And here's the thing. You're like, oh my God, no more Metal Gear games. Let me say this. Let me show this. This is a small fraction. He's created so much for all of us, you know what I mean? He's created so many. I've played all these games, finished all of these games, love all these games. They're all in high definition as well for any, people that way saying, oh, so most of the old games, there's a lot of them that are not. Well, most of them are in high definition, so they'll stand the test of time. And, if I ever need my Kojima fix, I have the games. I can go back and play Metal Gear Solid 2, and I can experience that again. And I mean, how do we need a new game every week? Let's just go back and play some of the games that we already have. So I know that was a bit of a rant, but that was what was building up in my head. It's like, this guy has given so much to us all. Hey, let him go do whatever he wants to do. If he wants to stay there, he can stay there. If he wants to leave, he wants to leave. God, he's given so much already. I'm quite happy with that. Okay, next up was the Zelda Wii U launch. Now, I can honestly admit that I was bummed out. I was really like, oh, damn. And I was bummed out in a good way because I was really looking forward to it being released this year. I was thinking, we get Star Wars Episode 7 and Zelda Wii U. Oh my God, my life is complete. Yeah, I know. I'm ridiculous that way. But these things make me happy. And I was a little bummed out that it was delayed. But if they're going to make the game better, delay the fucking game. That's one of the best things ever. People complain when they play an unfinished crappy game. This is Nintendo not doing that, which is wonderful. They're saying, hey, you know what? We're doing some other things to the game. We don't want to talk about them. We've discovered how to do this, and we want to do that. So it's like, okay, cool. Meanwhile, it's going to be we're adding 6 amiibos, support to it or whatever. But honestly, I'm happy they're delaying the game. That's great with me. I can't wait to play it. Hopefully early 2016 now. It's a little bit away, but hey, these things happen, and take your time to delay it. My thing was wow, what's going to fill that void? But we'll find out at E3, that's for sure. And another thing, my last video, my reaction to the Nintendo Direct was flagged by Nintendo and taken down. I'm not making a big deal about it. I'm just moving on. Okay, another cool bit of news was that, this is awesome, a great video game, oh my God, pop culture media book event, which was Ready Player One. Me and Rob reviewed it quite a few years ago now. Love the book. It is just, if you haven't read it, go read it. Honestly, it's one of my highest recommendations of books to read. And it's written by Ernie Cline, and I had a chance to talk to Ernie Cline, the guy who wrote the book. We had him on a podcast years ago, and we were able to. They just sold the rights to make a movie out of it at that point, and he was really excited. And it was still very unknown, but from what I talked to him about back then, is that they're probably going to change. I don't want to give any spoilers for the book, so anybody who reads the book, they'll understand what I mean. Anybody who hasn't read the book, it doesn't matter. They're going to change some of the properties, I'll say, in the book. You know, a lot of the brand names by the companies and stuff that they use all the time. They're going to use some of the Warner Brothers stuff and incorporate it well and all that. So that'll be really interesting to see how they go about it. But the big news was that we knew it was getting made into a movie. The big news was that Spielberg was going to direct. You know, a lot of directors say that they're going to do it, and then they drop out and move on to other projects. Ridley Scott has said he's going to direct so many things, and he moves on to other projects. So we'll wait to see. What do I think about Spielberg, though? Spielberg is one of my favorite directors of all time. I mean, like, he is awesome. He's there with Ridley Scott, James Cameron. You know, I love these guys, and Lucas, obviously, for great Star Wars. What do I think? Like, he's an older guy now. Like, does he get Ready Player One? And I'd like to think that he read it and he totally gets it. Because for people who have read it and love it, we want to see it flourish. And I want to see that book that I read brought into, you know, into a film, and they capture it perfectly. And it's very hard. I think the movie would have to be hella long. Really long to capture all of the flavors that Ernie Cline put in, and there's a lot of real subtle touches that are wonderful. I'd like to believe that Spielberg is in pre-production, fleshing all of this out, and he gets the pop culture references and he keeps them all as intact as he can. And maybe with some of his pull in Hollywood, he can secure some of the ones that are outside of the company. That would be great. So very excited to hear that they're moving ahead with Spielberg. It's like, wow. I'll trust in him that he's going to get this right, and I'm looking forward to a Ready Player One movie, let me tell you. Last, and certainly not least, is the Robotech movie. The Robotech movie that has been in rumors for so many years. Leonardo DiCaprio is going to be in it. There's so many rumors. Sony has acquired the rights to Robotech, which is interesting, and it looks like they're moving ahead with it. What do I think about it? I know I did my whole rant about Harmony Gold, but let me tell you, I do love Robotech. It was a childhood favorite of mine. It's interesting that there's, because Harmony Gold has the rights to Robotech, it's interesting they're not just going to make the Macross saga or whatever. I don't really know exactly what they're going to do, so there's a lot of unknowns for me. And, is Robotech the movie going to be a dead serious movie? Is it going to be really hardcore serious science fiction? Is it going to be a bit of is it going to be a lighter? Is it going to be made for kids? I don't know the direction they're going to go. I'd like to for them to find the medium between. I think Robotech doesn't need to be restricted. It doesn't need to be that at all. But finding the right the middle ground and just taking transforming fighting planes and finally seeing that in film. I wonder if they can pull that off nowadays. I think it's possible. For sure, as long as it's not just a gigantic CG thing. And Robotech at the heart of it, though, is a human story. It's a real human story about the tragedy of the human race, of what's happened to them, and about their struggle against, aliens or with much greater numbers. Mankind is overwhelmed, and it's such a huge space opera. It is up there with Star Wars if you can pull it off right. It's really there, and I got a lot of passion to do with Robotech. I really do, and so it'll be interesting to see Robotech come to life, and we'll wait and see how this comes along. I cross my fingers. I want the movie to be great. So, anyways, guys, I think I was able to get a lot off my chest. I was really able to talk about a lot of things that I just wanted to talk about. I thought they were so interesting. I thought there was top tier news for me. They were all things that really I've been talking about for so many years, and it's cool to see a lot of them happening. And there's some sadder things like Kojima leaving Konami, and Zelda being delayed. But overall, I think it's all pretty positive news when you think about it. I think it's all pretty good news. So, anyways, guys, I'll be back next week with a regular episode. So, anyways, guys, until next time.